What's going on, you guys? So I actually just got done listening to a video that Blue Blood Sports TV just dropped in. I gotta say, kudos to him for pulling up the clip that he did with Emmanuel Stewart talking about, Tommy Hearns going up in weight classes and coming back down to win championships. And the reason he brought this clip up was to just show that what Terrence Crawford is trying to do by moving up 2 weight divisions to fight Canelo Alvarez really isn't that big of a deal. At least it's not as big of a deal as people are making it out to be. He's crushing the narrative of saying that, oh, this is a money grab, this is a circus type of fight, not a real fight. This is just a money grab. Blue Blood Sports TV, I may not agree with everything he says, but in this video, he's speaking 100% facts, and I agree with him 1,000%. And he makes a very good point, and I believe the video that he showed, or the audio clip of Emmanuel Stewart talking about what Tommy Hearns did, was a perfect example. And he mentioned also Bernard Hopkins moving up from 160 to 175 to fight Antonio Tarver. He brought up Roy Jones moving up from light heavyweight to heavyweight, to fight for the world title. And there's just been numerous other fighters who have jumped up multiple weight divisions to fight, a big fight, but here we are, with many people, including Bernard Hopkins, and just lots of other, critics, boxing pundits that are coming out saying that this fight is a money grab for Crawford and he's too small, this, that, and the other. I hope, all these guys continue to keep on saying the same things. And I hope this, this narrative reaches all of the sports bettors, all the, people who make these odds makers and whatnot. I hope all of them keep that same energy, and have Canelo being a heavy favorite come September 12th when Crawford steps in the ring with him. Because, like I said, I dropped a video last night in response to the fight, a reaction video. Crawford's gonna beat the brakes off of him. And all this stuff, all this noise that we're hearing, that's good. I want to keep hearing that because I know Crawford's gonna go in there and destroy him. But in that clip, that video that Blue Bloods posted, Emmanuel Stewart is on audio recording, and he says that Tommy Hearns, when he was training him, he was the current 154-pound champion, so junior middleweight. He went up to 175 pounds, the light heavyweight division, jumping up 21 pounds to fight for the title, and he ended up winning. He actually was the bigger guy come fight night, the heavier fighter. He brought that up to say, hey, Tommy Hearns moved up 3 weight divisions and fought for a title, and he won. So this isn't like an absurd, thing that Terrence Crawford is doing. And if you really look at the face-off last night, Crawford appeared to be the bigger guy. Now, I wouldn't say that I expect Terrence Crawford to come in heavier than Canelo Alvarez, but you saw that there's a height advantage for Crawford. We already know there's a reach advantage. And if we're really looking at it on a skill aspect, Crawford is levels above Canelo Alvarez. The only way this is a somewhat competitive fight is just because Canelo Alvarez has been at that weight class for a while, and he's probably the naturally stronger of the two. But who knows? Come fight night, Terrence Crawford might actually be the stronger fighter. You never know. We've seen videos of Terrence Crawford deadlifting like 500 pounds while being a welterweight. So, I think Crawford is naturally really strong, but who knows? Canelo might be the stronger guy, but that's besides the point. The whole point is also what Blue Blood Sports touched on was people that are having these pound for pound, rankings and whatnot, have Usyk and Inoue above Crawford, and I've obviously never really agreed with that. That's not to say that either one of those two fighters are good quality fighters or deserve to be in a top 5 pound for pound, but if you just look at the body of work in comparison to Terrence Crawford, Usyk has struggled and had controversial fights both at cruiserweight, where he went undisputed, and at heavyweight, where he went undisputed. Right? I mean, the first Tyson Fury fight was a split decision, and I forget the dude's name that he fought at cruiserweight. Off the top of my head, I can't remember it, but this dude ended up fighting Opataya and gave him a good competitive fight. But the same dude that I'm talking about that fought Opataya fought Usyk for a unification fight, and that went to split decision. And if we're really looking at the Tyson Fury that Usyk fought, that was a faded Tyson Fury, in my opinion. I mean, you got to think about the fight that he had before he fought Usyk the first time. He fought Francis Ngannou and got dropped, and made boxing, the sport of boxing, look bad by getting in the ring with a UFC fighter and getting dropped. And the fact that it was even competitive was a joke. And then we saw what Anthony Joshua did to Francis Ngannou, when they stepped in the ring. Completely destroyed Ngannou. So, I mean, in my opinion, Usyk struggled with a really faded Tyson Fury who went through 3 wars with Deontay Wilder and had a history of substance abuse. Right? I mean, like, this wasn't a top heavyweight at the time he fought him, I believe. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was still a champion. Tyson Fury is still, was still a good fighter, but it wasn't the same Fury that fought Wilder the second fight. I don't even think the third fight. But needless to say, we've seen controversy with every one of Usyk's most notable wins. And then if you look at Inoue, same type of thing. I want to say controversy in terms of like, I guess there was one fight where it was with Nonito Donaire, and it was an old Nonito Donaire that he struggled with. I believe he got his jaw broken or his nose broke or something like that. But then he ended up, settling that fight in the rematch and knocking him out. But if you also look at the Luis Neri fight, he got dropped in that fight. And people are saying, he's maxed out in his weight classes. He very well could have. But we never seen Terrence Crawford get dropped like that. We've never seen a Terrence Crawford fight end in real controversy. I mean, you have dumb casual fans that will say, he struggled against Madrimov. I mean, he really didn't. If you actually know the sport of boxing and know what you're watching, you could clearly say that Crawford won that fight 8 rounds to 4, maybe even 9 rounds to 3. Aside from landing a few good right hands and feigning and moving the whole fight and clinching every time he got hurt, he really didn't do much. And that's Madrimov. But I agree with Blue Bloods on that aspect. I don't, for some reason, boxing pundits, whoever the critics, don't want to give Crawford credit. He's had, haters throughout his whole entire career. And especially now, to put Terrence Crawford number 3 pound for pound, I think is criminal. Just the level of dominance he's shown throughout his whole entire career. Like I said, no fight has ended in controversy. Anytime you've seen him get hurt, wobbled, or the quote-unquote knockdown, he ended up stopping those guys. There was no fight that went to the scorecards where you're like, oh man, Crawford lost. He robbed whoever. There wasn't no fight where people really thought the other guy won. Unless you're a dumb casual fan and you want to disagree and you hate Crawford. But all in all, man, I thought that was a really good video that dude dropped. And he brought up a lot of good points. But I just wanted to add to it a little bit, I can't wait. I can't wait for Crawford to get in the ring with Canelo and just shut up all the critics, all the boxing pundits, all the, experts that are saying this fight's a money grab for Crawford. It's going to look real good when he closes out his career with a 3-time undisputed 5-division champion and rides off into the sunset, beating the face of boxing, the greatest Mexican fighter of all time, who can't cut the ring off, who really just got exposed last night, and he's been exposed in the past. I mean, he's lost before, but it'd be even greater if he put a cherry on top and ended up stopping old boy, and doing something that nobody's been able to do, and that's stop Canelo Alvarez. But let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I thought it was a great video by Blue Bloods. I don't always agree with him, but with this video and this topic, I agree with him 1000%. But let me know what you guys think. Hate, like, comment, subscribe. Until next time.